pubs close.
Yeah.
But everything else is kind of up to local authority.
Tourism is huge for the Liverpool economy. We usually be doing about 4,000 tours a year. We probably only hit about 12% of that this year. That's anyone's guess at the moment, isn't it?
Once you've got 20 people going into a house, I think it's...
Yeah, we did mostly clean up, and then our friends over the road brought us a big pizza in and we had a few drinks when we finished. At the beginning, when we all went into lockdown, it made sense. We were all doing it for a reason, and that was fine. But now we're not all doing it for the same reason. It's almost like we're being separated, divided. It just doesn't feel right at all. There's just under 1,500 pubs now in the region that have closed the doors, which I'm guessing about 10,000 staff who now have a really uncertain future. They're facing their wages at 66%. Christmas is coming. There's going to be a lot of very sad and emotional people this morning who need more than we're being offered at the moment.
We're a big cog, you know what I mean? So you got your tourism, you got your retail, hospitality. We all contribute together, and if you start taking cogs out of that wheel, then it's just devastating for the city. We're going back to the 80s now, where it was a big struggle, and Liverpool have fought, everyone's fought to get into a position now where, you know, we was all actually looking forward to 2020, but the situation that we're in now was we're going to go back to them dark days of the 80s.
The north in particular was somewhat behind London, so the embers of the infection here were never extinguished, and they burned brighter up here than they did elsewhere in the country. So consequently, in the summer period, when the restrictions started to be lifted, the reinfection rates took off quicker here. The embers reignited quicker and more significantly across the population, meaning that the north and the northeast is leading the second wave because of the way that the policy has been posed on a national basis.
The starting point, I think, for most people's imagination of Liverpool is the 1980s, with the conflict between the militant-run Liverpool City Council and the Thatcher government in Westminster. And this was essentially over funding and this idea that Liverpool was not getting a fair deal financially. And I think there was a lot of truth in that. Over the years, though, it's been perpetuated in this idea of a them vs narrative, regardless really of who's in power in Westminster.